Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? I am Dan from Trading with Dan. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, we shall go straight over to those Bitcoin 4-hour charts. So yes, Bitcoin on the 4-hour on this Fed Day Wednesday. We are currently currently, as you can see, in a little bit of a holding pattern. We obviously lost this support. We came down, actually did wick lower than this recent low, bounced back up to the support. The underside of the old support turned new resistance, got resisted there, and now found ourselves at literally the midpoint of this sort of recent range here. So basically what we are doing is just waiting to see whether the Fed does 75, whether we react bullishly off that, or whether the Fed opts to go for 100 basis points, at which case we will pretty swiftly be coming down down to 16.5k at least. So yeah, it is one of those days where TA is not so it's not so relevant, and we're just waiting for the words and the decisions of one man, one person to basically rule them all global markets. It's not even one person like who's from like a global government. It's just one person in one little banking department of one country on the planet. So that is what we are all waiting for. So yes, not much else to look at there. Similar pattern in the S&P, in the stock market. We are still a decent way away from these lows. However, 100 basis points, we take out these lows for sure, and then the next stop, realistically, we might have to go and have a look to see if we've got any. We have got some of the levels below, not got them obviously extended across because we've been down here for a while, but yeah, we've got this level here. Then we have this level here, and then this level here, relatively important as well. So we have got some more levels to come back down to before, obviously, some levels to potentially bounce off. Before, well, who knows? Yeah, before we crash even lower. But yeah, we shall have to see how it plays out. Like I said, like I've been saying in our Telegram chat, I think it would be wholly irresponsible for the Fed to do 100 basis points. And yeah, I'm pretty sure lots of people in this world are tiring of basically this DXY, this liquidity tightening. It isn't acceptable to operate the world reserve currency and then just let it just run out basically. So that how we're meant to trade or do anything, like they're literally just damning the whole world economy into a massive global depression if they continue with this. So yeah, I mean, we have had similar action before in the past, and we ended up with the Plaza Accord, where we just had to basically America just literally just had to devalue their currency against other people because it was getting too strong. And it is, let's get this straight. This isn't getting strong because of any fundamentally positive elements to the US. The US is basically a dumpster fire at this point, both politically and pretty much economically. It is just purely a fact of the world runs on dollars, and it needs dollars to transact. The world is in debt. It needs obviously interest payments to pay that debt, and that interest payments have to then be in the currency that debt is denominated in, which is dollars. Therefore, dollars are needed to service the indebtedness of the world in the current Ponzi system, the current debt-based finance system that we live in. So yes, there we go. That is that. 10-year also looking absolutely disgusting here, but this is not potentially as important as obviously this dollar index. The dollar index is putting the real pinch on everyone. The 10-year is obviously still massively below the actual state levels of inflation, let alone any real levels of inflation that are potentially higher. Therefore, this rate is still super negative, which is obviously not the worst thing for an interest rate to be. So yeah, if obviously you want your asset prices to stay up. But yeah, what else can we look at? There isn't much else to look at really. Gold at basically on its rear end here, looking to take another leg lower. Again, 100 basis points. Gold basically comes down to the 1550s, I would guess, which is a pretty significant move actually. probably doesn't do it in one go, but probably makes its way down there. Oil just bouncing around. I do personally think oil is now basically pinned between, well, I would have said initially this support and this resistance. However, now the Fed is not, I keep saying the Fed, now the American government is potentially putting the floor around $80. It's basically pinned between under this resistance and $80 in my opinion. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. What else do you want to look at? What else? Ethereum Satoshi pairing just down there at a next level of support. Does it hold it? We shall see. All I will say is, whilst this has taken an absolute beating, it did get to the top of the range. It has come back down to the middle of the range. If it can hold anywhere around this where it is now, turn back up, move its way towards the top, it is overall bullish. We are in what you could probably look at as an accumulation formation, and if we hang around the top half of it, of this wider range, that is not the worst thing for us to be doing. So a bounce here, continuing upwards from here would be good, and then we've got a chance of breaking out the top, but obviously we know it's pretty strong resistance up here. But we do know there are potentially underlying fundamental dynamics to Ethereum. All I will say though is, so far as this ratio is concerned, this is obviously a ratio of the price. I mean, that is obviously not necessarily a ratio of the market cap now, because obviously Ethereum is potentially going to not be as inflationary. So what could happen is we could end up with a higher Ethereum price but then less Ethereum, in which case obviously it doesn't mean the market cap is then going to be necessarily bigger than Bitcoin. However, the ratio could be going up because the ratio is literally the ratio between this dollar value and the Bitcoin dollar value. So yeah, just a little interesting aspect of that. But yeah, like I said, not really much to look at here. I'm not even going to look at, in fact we will look at stochastics. However, like I said, it ain't going to be stochastics that influence this market at the moment. Oh, they don't even want to load anyway. Why do my stochastics do this? This is the second time they've disappeared now. So I'll have to get them back up. So yeah, funnily enough, we aren't going to be getting the stochastics. So there you go. It's a bit crazy. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, wait to see what the Fed does. I personally think it has to be 75. It can't be 100. We shall see. We shall see what happens. And I do expect there to be a rally off 75, just on the basis that there is the fact there is a 1 in 5 chance of a 100 basis point, which obviously then if 75 is confirmed, then that percentage chance has to be factored out in the market. So yeah, we'll see. Obviously, it's going to be very important what Jerome Powell says as well. Going to be important what our great leader says as well. The great leader of the world financial system says. Obviously, you're going to have to hang off his every words, because he is the all-important omnipotent being. He is the price fixer in this communist price fixing money system. This is not a free market. This is obviously basically a communist system of fiat Ponzi money, where they literally arbitrarily decide. They have a politburo, arbitrarily decide the price of money. They get it wrong all the time. It's why we have bubbles and busts. It's how the elites get rich, stay powerful. It's what they do to manipulate the world economy. So yes, there we go. Rant over. Thanks for listening, guys. Remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I shall speak to you guys soon.